Hello, it's Ariel of Ariel Sims, and welcome to my channel. This is a quick speed build I did after the Movie Hangout Stuff Pack came out of a Gypsy Caravan type home. When I saw the objects in this new stuff pack, to me it seemed like it was really lending itself toward a speed build kind of like this, where there's a home that's just full of color and kind of jumbled together a little bit, and uh, just some kind of artistic type living in a very small space. So I decided to try something different and to do a caravan speed build. Um, so my family is actually, I'm Jewish, and my family is from an area, we think it was in the Ukraine, but we're not entirely sure. My family came over around 1920 to the United States from this small little village. It was a Jewish village called a shtetl in Eastern Europe, where most Jews lived back kind of in the pre-World War II days. And my great aunt, who she was born in the United States, but her parents were immigrants, she believes that my family is actually part Gypsy, which I don't really think is true, but she seems to believe wholeheartedly. She doesn't have a whole lot of concrete proof to her claim, other than her mother was from a place called Galiciana, which is apparently where a lot of gypsies were from, and her mother wore a colorful headscarf, which was very common among immigrants back in the day. I don't really think that signified whether you were a gypsy or not. But my great aunt, who, she's kind of like the only grandparent that I have left, I'm very close to her, she insists that we are part gypsy, so it was kind of fun for me to build this because, like, it almost felt like I was exploring a little bit of my family history in a way, which is strange because I just really don't think that we are, part gypsy. I don't really know if Jews were gypsies. I'm not sure exactly how it worked, but my great aunt is absolutely convinced. So yeah, it was kind of fun to build this because, I mean, I don't think that the furnishings or the style of the home totally was true to what living in a caravan was like, but I think kind of like the small spaces were really fun to explore, and the type of lifestyle that it leads to, I think was very interesting for me. There's a lot of outdoor living type of setup with this home. So when I built it, I tried to kind of make it as small as possible, while still looking like a caravan. So I wanted it to be very narrow and decently long, but not too long. And I looked at a lot of pictures online and saw that with caravans, it was pretty common to have like the bed take up the whole bedroom area. So I fit a bed into a little 2x3 area in the back. And I did put an indoor bathroom in this home. Most caravans do not have indoor bathrooms, but I just really wanted to like try and work one into this home. So I did, and it's a 1x3 room that is big enough to fit a toilet and a shower, and that's it. So the sink is in the kitchen area, and you have to come out into the kitchen to wash your hands, which, I don't know, I just thought that was like a really cool thing to do. So yeah, and then I also wanted to work as much color into it as possible without it being like too much. So I tried to use a lot of different colors, and then I used the very colorful door that we got from Movie Hangout Stuff, and I just loved that door. Like, I find it kind of difficult to fit into homes that I'm building for YouTube just because I always want things to look a certain way. Like, I'm a perfectionist, so when things don't match, it drives me crazy. Like, if I were just playing the game, I don't mind too much if I have things that don't match. But when I'm posting something on YouTube or putting something on Tumblr or kind of just like putting something that I make out there for other people to see, I always want it to be as perfect as possible. So when things don't match, it kind of drives me crazy. But in this home, I felt like, it didn't really matter if everything matched. The point was to just use as much color as I could in a relatively small space without it being too much, but just definitely working a lot of color into it. So it was a perfect excuse to use that door and a perfect excuse to use like that shade of door, I think. I do want to clear up just one thing with this home is so I've watched a lot of TV shows and a lot of documentaries about how this community in the UK called the Traveller community, which is basically like a like so Gypsy Sisters and all sorts of shows like that. That's about the Traveller community. That's who we kind of regard as gypsies, I guess, these days. And I've watched a lot of series about these people and read a lot about them. And their homes don't really look like this. Their homes are pretty nice and like they can range from anything like what we think of as a camper toward um, almost like a modern looking home that's just it's movable. It's not like set in the ground and like stays there forever. Um, and so like they can have like multiple bedrooms in these homes and bathrooms and open living rooms. It really just like depends on who you are. This home is more based on what a traditional caravan was kind of laid out like. Obviously, this has a TV in it and like a modern looking toilet and stuff. Um, but like if you look back at kind of historic pictures of caravans, this is more so what they were like. Although they probably didn't have like a fridge because they didn't have a fridge back in the day. Like if my family were actually gypsies the way my great aunt thinks that we were, um, it would have been, kind of like 1850s to like 1920 back in the day, and there were just like sort of like modern conveniences that like they just didn't have back then. So they didn't have them in their homes. But that's kind of what I based the layout of this home on. So yeah, I think it's important just to like put it out there that this is not what people we think of today as a gypsy lives like. This is just my interpretation, and I don't want anyone to judge a real community based on what I do, because obviously I don't know what their lives are really like. But it would be cool, I think, to like talk to someone who lives in the traveler community and learn more about them. I really like I have a huge interest in just learning about different people and different cultures and how they live and like how their houses represent who they are as people and like what they value in life. It's kind of like a weird thing, but it's just like a real like big interest of mine. And I think your house says a lot about who you are as a person. So yeah, but I just don't want anyone to like misinterpret this video. Um, but yeah, I did try and like work pretty much like everything we got in the Movie Hangout Stuff Pack into this home, which maybe is a little bit much at times. But I was putting the finishing touches on the inside of the house at this point, and I put up those shelves by the fridge, and I ended up like putting some little clutter items on them, and I think it turned out to be like my favorite area in the house. The other thing that I really like is here with this bed, how I put like the curtain over the archway into the bed. I just think it makes it so cozy in there, and I would kind of like to have like my bed in like a very small space like that and like surrounded by curtains. Like, I don't know, I think that would be really fun. It probably wouldn't be good for me because I'm a very messy person, and I always end up with a ton of stuff in my bed, and like I wake up and there'll be like a hairbrush, my computer, my iPad, my phone, maybe like wrappings from like a snack I might eat at night. Like there's all kinds of stuff in my bed. It's like it's not good. I have to learn to not do that. Um, So I don't know that it would be good for me to have such a small space for a bed, just because I think it would become very messy very quickly. I kind of need space to make a mess, because otherwise, like, I'm going to make a mess regardless. So if I don't have enough space, everything just becomes too much and it's bad. But yeah, I built this outdoor living area, and this is another favorite part of the home for me, which um, it's kind of like a patio in a way, except it's on the ground and it's something that could move with the house. And originally I was going to put the rug that we have, that's a tarp, up where I'm building kind of like this overhang, because I thought that would kind of represent, like, sometimes in like camping trailers, there's like an awning that you can pull out, and it just gives you a space to sit outside, even if it's raining, or somewhere that gives you some shade, and you can like really do a lot of things out there. And I think the concept of outdoor living is really cool. I don't think myself that I'd be able to do it. Like, I have a lot of allergies, and I don't think being outdoors is really great for me, but I just really like the idea of it, and I think it's so cool to just like be among nature. And like, I think it helps, if you're like an artistic person or a creative person. I find that the best inspiration just comes from nature. So with this home, I created these two Sims to play test it, just because I wanted to make sure the bed worked. And I made them like very artistic Sims. Like, one was like a musician, and the other was a painter. And so I have like all kinds of objects outside that really are kind of about creativity. But I wanted to just include as much greenery and as many plants as I could. So I kind of made it like these columns. I didn't want to show the foundation as like a foundation. I wanted it to kind of be hidden behind plants and look like just like some columns were placed on rocks or something. So that was really fun for me to create and to build. And like, in my mind, you would put this home in like a forest, and you could live in the forest, and I think that would be really, really cool. Um, but yeah, I was trying to like raise the tarp up, and you just can't see it. Like, if you raise it up, it doesn't show up, like if you're viewing things from like a horizontal camera angle, I guess you would call it. So I ended up putting the tarp on the ground, but the intention was to be able to have like a tarp on the roof. But yeah, I used like the red trim because I just wanted to work in a lot of color. And then I hung these lights from like the ceiling of it, and I just think it made it just like a really like fun area. Um, and I created like the archway to lead into it. I don't know, I just thought like that added a really nice touch to the area. Um, so yeah, I don't know, I just really like this little space. I think it turned out cool. It's like one of my favorite things that I've built in The Sims. And it really like wasn't a lot about building. It was more about like layering objects and furnishings and bushes just in the right way to like create a cool space. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. And I also made sure that like pretty much nothing out here matches. Like, in my mind, like, someone found a lot of items and repurposed them and refinished them and like made it theirs. Um, so that was like a fun thing. And then I got to use like a lot of items from the Outdoor Retreat Stuff Pack too. So, or I guess that's a game pack. So this is kind of like a outdoor retreat meets movie hangout stuff house type of thing. Um, Even though like there's only one TV, because I really didn't want the Sims who live here to watch a lot of TV, but I like to use the TV in The Sims as a skill builder, so it helps your Sim like build cooking and comedy and stuff like that without having to buy a book or anything. So yeah, and it also like helps increase their fun in an easy way. So that was cool too. And then I used the table that came with Movie Hangout stuff, which I love. I use that table a lot now. It's hard to fit into a home. Like, a lot of the stuff that came with Movie Stuff Pack, or Movie Hangout Stuff, whatever it's called, like, they're hard objects to use in a home, but it's always very satisfying when it does work, because it just, I love the color. Like, it just looks so cool, and I love it. So yeah, I was like halfway through like finishing that outdoor area, and I realized there was nothing really musical out there. So I wanted to work in some music items. I don't remember if I added in the guitar after I was done like filming, because when I was playtesting, I moved things around a little bit and added in some things, just based off of like how the playtesting was going. So maybe that's when I put the guitar out there. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I mean, this home is available on the gallery, just like all of my homes are. My origin ID or gallery username is Ariel Sims 28. But here are the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this build. It was something different and something that I really enjoyed doing. But please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.